Part 2 of the Weekly Waffle brought to you by
What?
Tom Waterhouse.
No, Tom Waterhouse. Oh, Tom.
It's actually not brought to you by Tom Waterhouse. How's that?
Poor old Tom. Anyway.
Tom, do you think you done anything wrong? Do you think that was his game plan when he got out of the car?
Smile. Does it anyway.
He knows
Smiles when he loses.
Yeah, exactly right. This is recorded Tuesday morning.
I'm a defender of Tom.
Because?
He's a bloke trying to create his business. He's
exactly right.
What's wrong with him?
Yep.
People say, oh, he's everywhere now. So what?
Yeah.
It's his business to put himself out there. Well, everybody wants to knock people for getting out there and having a go.
The question is, and why he's copying all the vitriol, is because he's been allowed to run his business a certain way. And there was always going to be a tipping point. That Channel 9 put him on the panel has been the starting point of it all.
Yeah.
They just shouldn't have put him on the panel. And maybe in hindsight, he shouldn't put his hand up for it. But ultimately, as you say...
You wouldn't knock it back if you had an opportunity. And look, he's not the first bloke to go on a panel. We've had Michael Sullivan on TVN on the panel.
But racing's a wagering sport.
Racing is a
wagering sport. I'm not bagging Tom, by the way, but why he's copying the vitriol...
Racing's a wagering sport because it needs its income from wagering.
Yeah.
Sport is now a wagering sport.
Yes.
And it has been for a lot longer than people think, clandestinely. People have been betting huge on sport for ages. Sport's growing, it's going to get bigger.
But here's the thing too, Dan. People say, oh, this is a new thing, letting a bookmaker on a panel show. This is just outrageous. 2013, kiddies are watching. Anyone's got the unbelievably good ESPN 30 for 30 series. In the late 60s and early 70s, there was a bloke called Jimmy the Greek.
Yeah, Jimmy the Greek.
Who would provide his odds. And it's a great documentary, by the way. That's it. Now, he wasn't running his own betting agency, so it was a bit differently. The dynamics were slightly different, but it's been going on for that long. So people who think it's a new thing are wrong. Having said that, though, look, we've had the tipping point in Melbourne in that at the MCG a couple of years ago, it got banned because it was just shouted at you. I think Betfair and the sponsorship there, every break. Wow, this is the break, and these are the odds.
Look, there'll be a change. There'll be a legislation. It might be too hard. There's legislation, and it's their own fault for going too hard. They should have realised. Look, we need to just steady as we go. But no, they've gone, and of course. The advertising dollar is a real struggle. Racing is seriously struggling. There's a reason Sandown Park's called Betfair Park or Sporting Bet Park or whatever it is now, Jimmy the Greek Park. There's a reason because there's nobody else really wants to put the money in.
That's right.
The only people, and you also must remember, in racing, the only reason we have form guides in the daily newspapers
the industry
is because the gambling industry pays for it.
Well, that's actually what's changed now is that Race Victoria pay for it because the tab stopped paying for it because they're saying, well, everyone's now betting on the product. So that's been the case with the Herald Sun now. So RVL spend millions at the Herald Sun. So that is actually factual. No, it is.
No. Tabcorp spend a fortune with the Herald Sun.
No, they do.
With the news limit across the board.
Okay.
Absolute fortune. And stand for a little bit of news that a corporate bookmaker might be spending a lot of money for a sports betting lift out in a daily newspaper in the next 6 months.
Well, it's going to happen because it goes back to what you're saying with Tom Waterhouse. It is actually a free market. It's a free market, so you can advertise where you can. But equally, it's a lift out as opposed to what Tom Waterhouse put himself into that position at 9 and 9 let him put himself in that position. So, how you seen day one of the inquiry? I've got to say, just going back a bit as an overview. Take out the harbour, you wouldn't throw rocks at Sydney, would you? What a tip of a joint. Imagine that happening in our refined city of Melbourne.
That wouldn't happen.
Yeah, we do it all behind the scenes and smack on there.
Who have we got? We've got Eddie.
I mean, in race ownership, you know. Imagine Lloyd having a public fight like that.
No, it's just
please, David Moody,
nonsense.
or, you don't do that. But,
Go come out swinging yesterday.
So
she had her lawyers all around her and threw a few punches. And as Hoss said, it was a very intense day yesterday. No, it was a farce. It was a joke. It wasn't intense.
Good on Andrew Bentley. Good on everyone who does this.
It wasn't intense. It wasn't intense.
What about the Sky Channel way of doing it? I heard Matthew Browning Hard hitting Matthew Browning. So the other day.
Careful.
What's that?
Is that a dockage or is it a Tomage?
It's hard hitting.
That's a dockage, that's a Tomage.
Matthew Browning's big statement here, I know this will have to be vetted by our legal team here, was, I'll tell you one thing though, it's going to sell a lot of papers. What a big statement. It's gonna, so as you say, what was Hoss's line again? How was it? Interesting.
No, intense.
Intense.
Very intense.
Yeah, let's not give an opinion, let's just say it's going to sell a lot of papers.
It's
going to sell a lot of papers because the people on TV don't say anything.
And they're all worried that John's here and they haven't turned up.
Yeah.
The point is that John's gave a statement.
Yep.
And the only thing is relevant is what Johns and Waterhouse said together. The rest of it is absolute bull dust. Just it's irrelevant what Robinson or the brothel owner. Is that a job description? Brothel owner?
I'm feeling left out.
We don't have them down here. Who owns our brothels here? But they know who owns theirs.
I'm looking at my life. I'm not a retired jockey.
No.
I'm not a retired footballer. And I'm not a brothel owner. I'm no one.
No, you know.
Yeah, well, in Sydney society anyway.
So he's given a statement.
Yeah.
The fact is, Singo's vet and his racing manager knew the problems with the horse.
Yes.
Singo's problem is that he's got no communication with his own organisation. Like I like it yesterday. Tom and Gay were asked to. No, Gay was asked to produce the pre-race. Medical records of More Joyous, and Tom and Gay asked Singo to produce his pre-race medical records.
That's right.
What did he have in his veins?
It was a fair quote too. I had a couple before and I had thousands afterwards.
And a whole lot afterwards.
But can I tell you, my biggest surprise of doing form seriously, so I've followed racing all my life and been in the racing media when I started with you 20 years ago, but doing form seriously for 3 or 4 years, you know what the biggest surprise is? I don't want to hear from anyone. I don't want to know what's happening behind the scenes. No, you just want to take what's there.
The worst information you get is the information.
Exactly right. And am I missing something here? So like More Joyous had some treatment and they had to see if it was okay, and you know, and then the trainer had to make a decision. So that counts against Gay Waterhouse. What happened in England with Black Caviar?
Yeah, well,
Peter Moody nearly scratched.
Yeah.
His vet had to make a decision.
It was cooked for a week.
Yeah, it wasn't at its best.
But the media told us she was fine.
But so exactly the same dynamic with Black Caviar. The only difference was Black Caviar won, More Joyous did.
And even Singo said, "Oh, she's won when she's been worse." So what the hell's going on here?
So the talk about the defamation though is interesting, and I've got no idea if it was defamation.
I'll tell you a case. 1994, Caulfield Cup morning.
Yeah.
Paris Lane stood on a shirt, put a nail through his bottom of his shirt.
That's right.
Favourite for the cup.
Yep.
So, panic.
Can't remember the press release.
No press release. Nobody knew. Only people who knew. I didn't know when I worked there. Only knew Lee and a couple around.
Yeah.
Bathed the foot. Yeah. Got a special shoe fitted. Got the nails blessed by the pacing priest. Right. He does scallopers too.
Okay.
Got the nails blessed. And he went.
Dogs.
Ran the cup.
Yeah. And bolted in.
Ran a track record.
Yeah.
He was lame afterwards. He was sore.
Would you have backed him had you known that?
No.
No, so
it's best that I didn't know. So I had my life on it. Away you go.
You trust the trader to make the right call. That's all you got to do.
Get the horse to the post.
Exactly right. So, you know, I just can't quite figure out why the dynamic is any different. But the defamation side of things is interesting. So if it comes down to that, and if, I'm not saying, but if it comes down to John Singleton might have to think about writing a cheque to Gay, do you reckon he's smart enough to say, Gay, here's what it is. I'll either write a cheque to you that your lawyers will get a fair percentage of, or I'll go buy a heap of yearlings for you.
Perhaps.
What will Gay do then?
Well, he doesn't buy yearlings. He'll just give us some that he's already got.
Okay.
The other thing is that I think it was the defamation was cancelled out yesterday. If in a hearing like this yesterday you can, it's not a court of law.
No.
So I'm assuming that you could be defamed in that hearing. I think.
Except if you're a footballer, a brothel owner,
I think the statement, you're a drunk and a sham, that might square the ledger a little bit.
It's not overly ambiguous, is it?
You're drunk and a sham.
Anyway, that's our very, very in-depth look at the Gay Waterhouse, More Joyous, John Singleton, Debacle. The weekly waffle that's been it. The Racetrack Ralphy up. I'm on a roll, Dan. Got me a hat trick. 3 in a row. We got it right. Hopefully we can get it right again for Caulfield this Saturday. Rail out 14 metres. Speed maps are very important.
Caulfield, you're playing home. Black shorts.
Black shorts. Buy up.